Hello everybody and welcome back to TMR's MasterAdvisors Series. This video is going to serve as a short end of the year wrap up for us and as we recap all the conversations we've had over the past year. But first I want to thank everyone who's participated in our series, including Jennifer Wilson-Buttigieg, Sandy Anderson, Kristen Perry, Denise Wiggins, Mark Helizakis, Jennifer Donchez, KERRY, DYER, Amy Leone, Jamie Jones, Tiffany HINES, Sonia Weston, Melissa Mackey, Dr. Evelina Graver, Melissa and Luann Lazelle, KRISTEN BUCKSHIRE, KRISTI PECK, KAREEM George, Angela Reich, Janet Semenova, and all the executives and other advisors who took part in our panels. We've covered a lot in 2020. We spoke about service fees, setting boundaries with the clients, hosting in-person events to drive sales, selling theme park vacations, and a lot more. We've gotten destination updates from Mexico, from various cities around the United States, and I really do hope you enjoyed these conversations as much as I've enjoyed having them with you. All of our videos can be found on our training page and YouTube page for anyone who wants to catch up on sessions they've missed, who wants to rewatch any of their favorite sessions. We've really gotten into a lot of significant detail, and I hope these conversations both helped you deal with the issues that are impacting your businesses and also entertain you. 2020 has been extraordinarily difficult for so many in the industry, and I truly hope you've enjoyed these as much as the team at TMR has enjoyed putting them on for you and getting to know all of you in the past 8 months or so. And before we wrap up, I'm going to leave you with some clips from the past 8 months. I also, again, want to thank all the advisors who tuned in this year, and I cannot wait to have you back in 2021. We really do appreciate your participation in this unique community. I hope you all have a safe and healthy holiday and new year, and I'll see you all in 2021.
The pitfalls and the advantages and disadvantages of hiring IC versus the position we just spoke about, the administrative assistant.
I see. So I see. How many times can we say that? So you're talking about an IC who may bring another IC under them.
Yeah.
Okay. This, as you well know, has really taken off full steam of a lot of people building that sales team under themselves. And there's certainly something to be said about it as far as bringing revenue into your bottom line. What I would give caution to is that now, as the original business owner of KERRY DYER Travel, I am now looking after multiple ICs. I may be getting distracted from what I really love to do. As we said earlier, I love to cultivate relationships, I love to sell, and I love to create exceptional travel experiences. By bringing all of those people on, sometimes you can lose sight of that. And what we have found in our community of 110 independent advisors that we have, 2 of them have ICs working under them. 80% of them have some sort of staff member, whether it is an administrative assistant or someone to help with marketing. And the thought process there is that you're pushing off, Rebecca Wilson, who created our mentoring program, calls it the broccoli. So in the same way that at the end of your meal, the thing that's probably left that you've pushed aside is the broccoli. What are the things in your job day to day that are the broccoli? That's what you need to unload and get rid of so that you can excel and do what you want to do, which will make you more profitable. And an IC doesn't want your broccoli. ICs want to give their broccoli to somebody else. So I'm not suggesting that it doesn't work, because I have a lot of friends in the industry who are very successful with it. You just have to understand that it's an entirely different model, and you are there to support their success as an independent contractor, which can distract from your success as an independent contractor.
Since this flood of cancellations have come in, but I think it's important to recognize that you have to sort of keep a concentration on both sides of that relationship.
So right now, trust is everything, right? That's the core of the partnership. If we trust each other, we've got the basics, then we go from there. That's the if you will, the foundation. In these times, you got to work at it, right? Because it's not as easy to be attached to each other. So what do I recommend to my advisors, and what do we do? I can tell you at Frosch, we have made an incredible effort, and it's absolutely paid off for us in staying engaged, having consistent contact, be it phone or be it these Zoom conversations with suppliers. It's keeping them informed about what we're up to and what we're seeing, and asking them what they're seeing and what giving us advice on what clients are booking, what clients are doing, what other agents are doing. It's certainly making sure that every sale that we have goes to the suppliers we trust right now. Every sale matters, right? It wasn't where it was January where we had so much that we were spreading it out as best we can. Now those relationships mean everything. That trust means everything, and market share is everything. And, you know, we at Frosh make a concerted effort now to make sure that we are supporting the ones that we trust, the ones that are there for us, and the ones that we know we can count on. And frankly, too, it's good also, it gives us confidence in the knowledge that we have and what's going on the ground. And I'll give you an example, DMCs. When you have good relationships with trusted with trusted partnerships overseas, when you want to know what's going on in Spain or you want to know what's going on in France, the best information you can get is from your local partner there. What's happening? When are you opening up to tourists? What's really going on the ground to get the real information like we talked about at the beginning? Was you want to make sure we have the facts, not what's out there and we can't corroborate. And these trusted relationships, that's the way to earn trust, is being in contact, staying engaged, making sure that we're exchanging information, making sure we're telling each other what's going on. It really is. I can't stress enough that right now how important that is.
Rapidly on the chat. Let's start with Nicole. I want us to think strategically. 10 years from now, it's going to be August 2030, and you and I are going to get together. And both of us will have survived whatever this 2020 world is and go, oh, do you remember when? What do you think the landscape's going to look like?
I think the landscape from a supplier and agent is going to be a lot closer. I think you're going to see a lot more collaboration. You're going to see a lot more stronger relationships that are out there. God willing, consumer confidence will be back to the levels that we are used to in the industry. And I see a thriving industry, both, I might get shut down here, but both from a brick and mortar standpoint as well as a home-based channel.
So I sort of envision the Apollo 13 movie. We're here and we got to get to here, and we don't have all those pieces yet. So hopefully some of the policies we talked about today, hopefully some of the fees we talked about 2 weeks ago can help with that. Alex, it's August 2025. Hopefully you and I are going to go have a cocktail somewhere.
So.
What's changed?
You know, I believe what has to change is the way that travel advisors are perceived. And we've done a lot of work over the last few years. I mean, we've made huge strides. But my question is, and I come back to this, and it's always a touchy subject, right? We either need to make sure that the public understands the value of a travel advisor, or we're going to have to create a value. And I mean that by, right, all the industries that we're compared to, financial planners and other professionals, they have a certification program that we don't have in this business. And so, you know, I think about this as a reset, and is there an opportunity? It's a scary proposition, but frankly, we need to find a way to continue to raise the professionalism of travel advisors and ensure that the public sees us that way. So I think maybe not by 2025, but maybe it's more by 2030, I think we see something like that.
Okay. Drew?
I'm saying you disagree, I guess.
Oh, no, that's okay. Many people know I tend to assume things are going to happen a lot faster than they do. And that's okay. I need that reality check to say, again, this is going to be iterative. So, Drew, I'm going to ask you to also answer Alex's question because I still want a better answer for 5 years from now. I respect Alex completely, but we're going to do take two on that. So, Drew, it's 5 years.
Well, first and foremost, I love going in time warps, right? I feel like the time is just, it's been Groundhog Day for all of us and time is flying by. So it'll be 5 years before we know it. I definitely see one thing will be the foundation, which is consistent. The value of human connection and relationships will still be what drives this industry, from our great partners to the great places we get to experience and the people we meet along the way. That said, I believe that the travel agent, we will see more than we ever have. I've been in the business 25 years, and I think that we will see the consuming public really wrapping their arms, promoting the travel advisor, being more, it will become more of a term like their doctor, their nurse. They're going to be more of a reliance on their expertise and helping them move forward.
Great. So if TMR created sort of their own KPIs, 5 years from now, travel advisors not only are going to be back as well-known service providers, but we will be, again, a thriving new career model. That's what I heard you say.
And I think you can measure with Google Analytics quite easy. You see it now.
Love it. So we have some industry type KPIs that we're working towards. Matthew, next year, Virtuoso Travel Week, hopefully in person as opposed to virtual, but we will pivot to whatever it is. What do you think the biggest change in the next year is going to be?
I think the biggest change is going to be that health security becomes like 9/11 with security. So if you want, that to me, that's a short window, and I think and that's why the model, some of the things that we do with fees and things have to change with regards to what do we do and how do we advise on that, and how do we advise on that with the understanding as an advisor that your job is to help people make informed decisions, and not to set that, and not to provide guarantees, because you can't. But I want to also answer your question about 2030, because that to me is the more exciting one. At the end of 2019, and as I was going to do my talk in Symposium, the reality is that the core reality of the global market for travel, the core fundamentals have not changed. So just to make everybody feel good about hang tight as best as you can, because we were about to enter an era where for the first time in the history of the planet, there were going to be 5 generations of people globally all wanting to travel at the same time in numbers that we've never seen before. And I can tell you this, that desire to travel, nothing affects human beings more than taking away something they took for granted. And if you look at the McKinsey, the Harris poll, NMGY, everybody is saying pent-up demand is going to be off the charts.
And it is.
I'm wondering if you're a part of any groups with other advisors, if you make a concerted effort to communicate with other advisors about what's happening within their business, about what their clients are saying, or about anything else that may be important.
Absolutely. So just recently, I've reached out to a couple of agency owners and, just to spill, what is the temperature in their agency? I live by what I was taught, that there's enough business for everyone. So it's okay to share some of your techniques and share what's working for you and your wins. And the group of women that I'm a part of, they do the same. So again, I would say, there's a lot of communities out there based on agency owners, based on destinations, based on age groups. So find one that you can go in and either read their comments and contribute. One thing also, with doing that, I participate in trainings. I've been in the industry for a while, but that doesn't mean that, I can't update my knowledge. So I know that there's task training and there's ASTA's training. I even took a training with Mark Cuban, and even though he was not speaking on the travel industry, but he was speaking on sales. And, just to let you know, advisors, we are salespeople. So we sell vacations and experiences and happiness, but we're salespeople. And one thing I learned from him, which I've carried on throughout this entire time with COVID-19, is replace the word sales with communication. So what does that mean? Anytime you want to, sell something through marketing or sell something through a conversation or a promotion, do more communicating to your customer. You may want to, we're going to give away this free trip if you book early. I would flip that and say, it's best to book early because of, and give examples. And by doing that, we're going to give you this. You just want to tell them why. And then it opens up conversations so that you're able to profile them even more and see where's their mindset. Are they afraid to travel? So I thought it was challenging at first, but I thought it was a great thing to use during this time. Sales, replace it with communication in everything that you do.
There's a ton of travel advisors who have been in this industry for a long time, and they're not used to charging fees, and they have a Rolodex of clients who maybe aren't used to seeing that fee on when they get their invoice. I'm wondering if you could break that down for us. How can you break the news to clients that you are going to start charging fees, and especially those past clients who have been loyal to you and have been with you for a long time?
I can take this one, Tiffany.
Okay.
So my mom is one of those advisors that has been in the industry since the dinosaurs. Thanks, Mom. Totally watching right now. And, you know, she's definitely struggled a bit, especially with her loyal clients that have been with her through thick and thin. And, you know, what I think that we don't do enough is value ourselves enough. And so she had a conversation with a client that she's done a lot of travel for him in the past. And, you know, she's always charged him the minimum of what our agency charges. So $300, whatever he's decided to do. And she approached him during this pandemic, because I see a lot of people are commenting about how to implement it now. They struggle with that. And she said, you know, this is all that I've done for you. This is the service that I provide for you, and I'm doing shore excursions, and I've helped you get these refunds. And, you know, we're really looking at our business and deciding how to move forward, because there's a lot of travel agencies that are going to go out of business. Let's just be honest and open with that. I think about 25% of the travel industry agencies are going to go out of business because of this. And she said, you know, coming from, you've used me for a long time. What do you think I'm worth? And now remember, minimum fee $300. He said, is $1,200 fair? So she was floored by that, and that has given her the confidence now to move forward and charge more and explain to her clients that, you know, this is the service that she's providing. This is what she's done for them over the years. And, you know, moving forward, she wants to work with less people and she wants to provide a higher level of service. So I don't think that we're giving our existing clients enough credit because they really find that we're worth it. Selling a fee to an existing client is a lot easier than selling it to a new client, because those existing clients value us already. They want to work with us. They come back to us time and time again. So it's a hard conversation. Guess what? You're going to lose clients. Those clients that you lose don't value you at all. And you're going to gain clients that want to work with somebody who values themselves.
I think that's well put too. But Tiffany, I want to ask you this one, is that, I mean, I see the comments coming in the chat, and it seems like people are worried about that external conversations with clients, but they're also worried about facing themselves and saying, now I have to sort of step up my game. I'm going to be charging a fee now. Can you talk about sort of the internal battle that people are having about discounting themselves or taking themselves for granted?
Yeah. So, you know, just to piggyback kind of on what Jamie was saying there real quick. I mean, I think right now, again, it's a matter of pick up your phone and call your client and have just a good casual conversation with them and let them know, you know, what's going on and that you are looking to change your, you know, the way you have structured your business going forward. And, you know, but the other thing I think is that, and this is something that I realized that my mother and I lived for many, many years in a scarcity mindset. Scarcity mindset is really dangerous. That's a dangerous place to live because you are trying to answer that phone as quick as you can. You are you know, grabbing the doorknob as fast as you can. You are taking on anything and everything that you can. That is not working smarter. That's working harder. And so what I have really preached to my team over the last 10 years is that, look, we live in a place of abundance. There is an abundance of business, obviously pre-COVID, abundance of business. And there will be, again, when we get through this pandemic, there is going to be so much pent-up demand. And there are going to be less of us out there to help people. You really need to live in a place of abundance. You've got to be okay with letting that person go, like Jamie said, that maybe is going to have a problem with paying you a fee. Because, I mean, do you really want to feel like a doormat? Do you really want to feel used and abused and put a lot of effort into things that don't generate income for you? And, you know, we all probably got into this business because we really enjoy helping people. We're social people, we enjoy helping, and we love to travel and explore the world and share that with other people. But just because we love it doesn't mean it should be a hobby for us. because it is a lot of work. There are a lot of details, and people don't realize how much is, and then not only that, but all of the responsibility that you take on. That, you know, when somebody is in travel and they have a problem, who do they call first? Typically, it's not the supplier, it's their travel consultant. And we're the ones that over the last 4 or 5 months who have been there to help these people really sort through all the rules and all the things that are changing on a daily, weekly basis. And we've heard that time and time again in the last few months, that, you know, the computer sitting on your desk has no emotion. It does not care what you're going through when you have a problem. The humans that you talk to, they care. And that's us. And we know that our suppliers feel the same way. They are the humans at the end helping to provide these services and products for these clients, these bucket list experiences that, you know, one of the things, the sayings we say a lot in our office is, you can always make more money. But when that time is gone, it is gone forever. So if you want to jump into planning this on your own, it's a gamble. If you want to roll the dice and it's a $10 or $20 or $50,000 trip, that's a substantial amount of money, but you can make more. But when it's a week or 2 weeks of your life and it's over and it didn't turn out quite like you wanted, you will never get that time back. So it's all about changing your mindset, and it's about putting things in perspective for people that makes sense so that they can wrap their brain around why you are assessing this fee. And we need to begin to be more transparent about how we make our income anyways. Honestly, you know, we really, the majority of our income needs to start to shift. And if you get the Ask the Fee course, you will learn that travel advisors actually started by not making any commissions. We are going to end up coming full circle by the time this is all said and done. Travel advisors started out in the late 1800s, early 1900s. The only income they had was the fee that they charged for planning itineraries. It wasn't until around 1931 or so that commissions came into play from suppliers.
Sure. So I've done lots of different types of events. I personally love to host events in my home. Okay. I feel that when you invite someone to your home, that really is elevating a relationship. That's really very personal. And that puts more weight behind the invitation when you get an invitation to someone's home. Yeah. Even better is when you host in a client's home. And I've been fortunate where we've had travelers that have said, I really love that trip you put together. I really love this supplier. I have friends that I want to meet you. I will host something for you in my home. That's fantastic. I've done events in restaurants where, again, you can cross promote and you can support your local business, especially a time like now is very tricky, but pre-COVID, picking a favorite restaurant or wine bar, doing some list sharing and bringing people in there. So the venues can be really creative, libraries, flower shops, what have you. And the process is very meticulous and detail oriented. Part of that, I think, is me. I think everyone will bring their own different expertise and focus to putting together an event, but I came from a fundraising background and a marketing background. So I've hosted and put together a lot of events. So I always start, you know, with the theme. What's the theme or purpose? If it's a destination like South Africa, for instance, who's going to be my supplier? Who's the expert I'm bringing in to support me? What's specifically the topic? Is it going to be South Africa in general? Is it going to be wine country? So really focusing it in so you can, when you put out that invitation, give the guests really a sense of what the experience is going to be. Creating the guest list, that's always, you know, very challenging. You don't want to, with any marketing, you want to be targeted. So you just don't want to broad brush invite everyone. I found in my personal experience too, that guests tend to be more responsive when they know the events are smaller, when they know that it's special and targeted as opposed to an event for 40 or 50 people. My events typically will be 20 to 25 people.
Okay. Yeah.
To Kenya and a safari is, and something you mentioned to me earlier in the week is that one of the advisors who was on the fan with you came home and booked had a big booking to Africa that leaves very quickly. I'm wondering if you could tell us about that.
I can, and when I want to lead into that by saying something similar to Connie. If you're comfortable and confident in getting out there and experiencing, now is the time, because you know, talking about watered down experiences versus enhanced experiences, I think you can really put a twist on that for your clients who are like, well, it's not going to be that great of experience because of this. I mean, you really can make that a pro instead of a con if you know your destination and you learn your destination and know everything you know about it. You can learn about it. First of all, when we were there, normally in the Masai Mara, when you pulled up to a site where there was a leopard or a lion or, you know, one of the big five, you would be pulling up to, you know, 20 or 30 Jeeps, and when we would pull up, there were maybe like 2 or 3. And so we were able to really, really experience those animals up close and personal. And it was super, super special. I mean, like, to have a lion from me to that window right there was, you know, so crazy and amazing. So I would say, think about those destinations that are open air, that are more naturally, socially distancing, you know, and really get to know those, because I think that's going to be, what the wave of the future is, what clients are going to be comfortable with, and which is what I'm doing here in Guatemala. I'm actually, like, that's Lake Atitlan right behind me, and it's beautiful. We are naturally socially distanced, and all these little villages around here are doing the same thing, like you're talking about the QR codes. I mean, it's everywhere. So things are changing everywhere. But as far as my friend, just encouraging you guys to get out there and experiencing what you can and what you're comfortable with. My friend that was my roommate on the safari, she had never really disconnected from our job, and which I know many of you don't. You feel like you do it 24/7, and she was really apprehensive to go, and she was back and forth, and she decided to go, and just decided to disconnect and make the most of it. She made some decisions about her business while she was there, and just took some time to focus, and one of them was to focus on social media. And literally within 3 days after she got home, she saw somebody in her town that said, I'm going to Giraffe Manor in Kenya, and we're going to donate $10,000 to a local charity, and so excited. And, you know, and she assumed this guy's already going. He has a travel advisor. This vacation, the safari is planned. But she took the chance, and she reached out anyway. And we Giraffe Manor was one of our first stops. And she said, make sure to give Lily, the giraffe, lots of kisses. And make sure and stay away from Kelly, because Kelly just had a baby, and if you turn your back on her, she'll bite you in the head. And so that was just basically what she posted on Instagram. Well, that turned into a conversation that I was just there. I just returned home, and literally we just got back on November the 14th. She has 12 clients leaving on December 6th, this weekend, to the tune of $280,000 for the entire safari. So, I mean, the experience that she had and what she invested in the experience, both time and money, has been returned to her more than five times fold. So I just think, you know, sometimes the other side of yes is a really great place to live, and I'm so proud of her and how that worked out for her. But that's what I would encourage you guys to do: take the chance, go for it, and have the experiences now when they are a little bit different, and you just never know what's going to come.
Engage for my business. So, how do you gain confidence when you first sort of step into the pool of social media?
So it is all trial and error. Some of it is just stepping out of your comfort zone. So for example, I said that I don't do Facebook Lives. Start small. I think that it's beneficial to everybody to have a social media presence. And you don't have to come out of the gate, you know, when you first make your profile, it doesn't have to be business 24/7. Come out and start, you know, talking about yourself, even if you're posting something, you know, that you're doing with your family, and start to, you know, if you have a contact base, send an email out to your clients that says, you know, you've now joined the social media world, and give them a link to your page. You would be very surprised how many people will respond and send you friend requests.
I know you sell a lot of resorts, and I'm just wondering, could you tell us a little bit about your experience selling resorts during COVID-19? What have you seen from clients? And then what have you seen firsthand? I know you've been to a couple of resorts during the lockdown period.
Yes. So what we've seen from clients was at first there was hesitation. I would say like the end of May, 1st of June, there was hesitation, but there were also a lot of people who had been inside for a long time. So they were wanting to get out and go do something. So what I've seen is in Mexico, the resorts are doing a fabulous job. I went in July and in September, and I'm headed back this month in November. And they have great safety protocols. The Caribbean, we've seen like a little bit of hit or miss with the COVID testing. So with Jamaica, we hit a little rough spot because of COVID testing and the changes there. But Mexico has been, me and Kristen have talked about it a lot. It's been pretty much a home run hit for everyone, for Mexico, travel agents, and the clients because of the safety protocols.
Yeah, and we've actually heard that from an advisor 2 weeks ago. Melissa LaSalle said she was seeing a lot of entrants in Mexico, and I know I've heard from a bunch of suppliers that Mexico seems to be a big winner from this, and I want to get to that later, but I want to let Kristen talk about what have you seen from your side. I know you do resorts too, and I know, Kristi, you do theme parks too, but Kristen, could you talk about your experience similar to Kristi but in theme parks as the pandemic has sort of progressed?
Absolutely, Dan. I think for those of us who specialize in theme parks, we have a bit of a unique situation. Our destination is open for travel, which is fantastic because so many advisors who specialize in different niches don't have destinations that are open for travel. We're fortunate enough to have that, but our actual product has changed quite a bit with theme parks. So the type of clients that are attracted to visiting the theme parks in 2020 are a bit different than what we've seen in the past, especially when we think about things like a Disney vacation. It's such an emotional purchase for clients, and it's something they've thought about for such a long time. We're really finding that first-time guests, we're encouraging them to wait because the full experience isn't there. I've had the chance to visit Universal and Disney a number of times since opening. I try to get up there every couple of weeks just to check in and see how things are going. They're both doing a tremendous job with safety. But because not all of the experiences are intact right now, we are seeing a heavy push towards 2021 travel with our clients.
Okay. It seems to be something they feel more comfortable doing. And a lot of advisors, you know, they do want careers that also include their own personal time. And I'm wondering, can you talk to me about that? How do you set expectations for sort of what hours your clients can contact you both while they're on vacation or even when they're at home thinking about booking travel?
Well, I think it kind of goes back to, you have to start at the beginning. So at the beginning, I think every advisor, and Angie and I have done this throughout our travel business, you have to set up your zone of genius and your niche and your specialty. So who are you? What do you offer? What do you do that positions you as being have a unique business proposition? What is your market value? And what is kind of your secret sauce? So when you identify what your niche and your specialty is, then you can pretty quickly define who your ideal clients are. And when you define your ideal clients, you find the clients that you can serve or that are best served by working specifically with you. And then you can set up the expectations pretty quickly about what they can expect when they work with you. And so Angie and I are very particular about who we choose to work with and who we engage with. And we try very hard to work with people that are going to appreciate the service and the process that we put forth. And so when we do that well, and when we work with ideal clients, then we're able to work with partners on the ground and destination specialists who are part of our team. And we let our clients know from the very beginning that we have a team. So whether they're working with Angie or they're working with me, we're not their only point of contact. We have a team, and there's a team behind us that's going to help make their journey and their travel experience this incredible, transformational travel, this once in a lifetime trip every time. And if it was just Angie and I, that wouldn't really be possible. We can't be everywhere at one time. We're not available 24/7. We're not going to be on the trip with them, but there are people behind us who are going to support us and support the clients. And so we use Access Pocket Travel Consultants is what it's called for us, but it's the Access Travel app. And in our app, we're very clear about kind of before their travel who they need to contact, but while they're traveling, what is kind of the list of people that they need to get in touch with. And so if they have an emergency while they're in Paris and their driver doesn't show up, it's a very clear line of, okay, this is the first person you call, this is the second person you call, these are the people that know your itinerary, these are the people that are ready to address issues and handle any type of mishaps that might occur during travel, which we all know things happen. And because we go through that with them, and because we have a very clearly defined order of who they need to contact when, we're always, while the client is actually traveling, we're at the bottom of that list. We're all the way in the United States. They might be in Turkey or Paris or wherever they might be in the world. We're not going to be the first person for them to contact. And they appreciate that because we communicate that throughout the entire process.
Yeah, and I know I've been in situations where I've been traveling and things have happened. And I do remember each time pulling out, it might not have been the Access app, but other things that say this is who you contact for this problem, this is who you contact for that problem. And I remember just having the feeling of, that's just a comfortable feeling to have. And I think that's important to point out. One thing you did mention, Jen, was partnerships. And I want to ask Angie about this. You particularly mentioned earlier in the week that partnerships are super important to have, especially when you have clients traveling and multiple bookings going on and things like that. I'm wondering if you could speak about that, what advice you would have for people developing relationships with DMCs and things like that, and if there's anyone else they should be aware of to have these partnerships with when they're booking clients.
Right. We invest a lot of time getting to know our destination specialists. And for different markets, we have multiple suppliers because we have clients that have different styles of travel. They spend different amounts of money on travel. Some are more active and some are more luxurious travelers. And so we do work with, a few different suppliers in the same market. But it's really important for us. We noticed in some circumstances, if we don't have the information from our destination specialists that we believe that our clients need, such as the names of the drivers or the telephone numbers of the driver or a 24-hour contact person to reach in destination, that those oftentimes would be a deal breaker for us. We really need that open communication. And we even utilize our destination specialists to help us curate better experience for our travelers. And our travelers respect the fact that we recognize that we may know a destination, but somebody who eats, breathes, and sleeps that destination is obviously going to have other valuable information as well. And it's our information, it's our information that we share with our clients to let them know, depending on where they're traveling, we want to have a relationship with our clients year after year after year. And in order to do that, they're not traveling to the same destination. So they are going to continue to work with you. I would never fear creating that direct relationship with the destination specialist and your traveler, because they're going to respect that you created that opportunity for them to work with that phenomenal tour company. And it's going to increase the success rate with their trip because they're going to better match the experiences for your traveler based on the availability of the time of travel and what interests and what, unique experiences that they can create. So one of the first things that we do when we talk to our destination specialists is we give them a background in our clients and say, what are 2-3 very, very unique experiences that would be perfect for this client? So we really engage the destination specialists to help us come up with very unique ideas. And we even sometimes put the client in contact with our destination specialist during the curation process. So they really feel that they are more vested in your trip. And I think in the end, your clients end up spending significantly more money on their trip because they see greater value in the experience, and it makes your business more profitable as well.